in my experience, particularly with the courts where we're required to keep score, I resolved 84% of my cases successfully at the first meeting, which is a very high percentage. But it's always about finding the key. You know, the Camp David hearings when Carter was president went on for so long, and the Israelis took the position, this is the area that we conquered, we now control it, it's ours. And the Egyptians said, since the time of the pharaohs, this has been sovereign Egyptian territory. We're not going to give it up. Finally, somebody got smart enough to ask the question of the Israelis, what's so important about this? Well, they said, if we occupy it or we control it, and they bring in tanks, the minute they come across those, we have enough time to prepare before they get to Israel. So it's a question of security. Would you be okay if the Egyptians still had that as their sovereign territory, but that they had to keep tanks out of there, and if their tanks came in, that would be an act of war? And they said, yeah, sure. And the Israelis and the Egyptians resolved the case on that basis. Okay. So again, how do I find the answer? What are they fighting? Do they really know what they're fighting about? There was the near miss we had, and almost a complete nuclear disarmament with the Russians between Reagan and Gorbachev. And it finally broke down that the Americans wanted, I think it was either 10, I think it was 20 inspections a year. And the Russians want something considerably less than that. And that's where they broke down. They came this close to a complete nuclear disarmament agreement. Nobody ever asked, well, what's your definition of an inspection? Does that mean a team of 50 people on the ground for 4 days? Does it mean 2 people, 1 day? So if they had broken that issue down into what do you mean by inspections and defined those terms, I'm sure they could have come to an agreement.